Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Dr. Javed Iqbal Khokar, Professor of Forensic Medicine and Toxicology. As we're discussing autopsy, and this is the 7th lecture of this series. And in this lecture, I will be discussing the death investigation in Pakistan. So the contents of today's talk will be that I'll be discussing what are various laws which are related with death investigation in Pakistan. And they are basically the section 174 and 176 of Criminal Procedure Code and Police Rules 1934. And there are also Health Department instructions, Surgeon Medico-Legal. Basically, I am from Punjab. So Surgeon Medico-Legal in each province issues instructions regarding medical legal work and the autopsy. Then there is Forensic Science Agency in each province, like Punjab Forensic Science Agency. From time to time, the Forensic Science Agency issues instructions regarding collection of material, preservation and dispatch to the labs of Forensic Science Agency in the medical legal work and the autopsy. So starting with the topic, the death investigation in Pakistan. The laws which are related with death investigation in Pakistan, they are the most important, that is the section 174 of Criminal Procedure Code and section 176 of Criminal Procedure Code. Then Police Rules 1934 for the conduction of the autopsy, and Government of Health Department also issues instruction for the conduction of autopsy. So section 174 of Criminal Procedure Code, this is the Criminal Procedure Code which was originally issued in 1898, and these codes are still prevalent with modifications from time to time. So the Criminal Procedure Code, section 174, subsection 1, 2, and 3 of Criminal Procedure Code are related with death investigation in Pakistan. So police is to inquire on suicide, homicide, or accident. And under section 174, subsection 1, the officer in charge of the police station or some other police officer specially empowered by the provincial government in that behalf on receiving the information that a person has committed a suicide or has been killed by an other person or has been killed by an animal or machinery, or by death has been occurred by an accident, or has died under suspicious circumstances raising a reasonable suspicion that some other person has committed an offense. So these are various situations in which the area investigation officer under the section 174 is empowered to investigate, to visit the scene of crime of these sorts of deaths and investigate, and he shall immediately give intimation thereof to the nearest magistrate empowered to hold inquiry, and unless otherwise directed by any rule prescribed by the provincial government. That means to whom the provincial government has advised to inform, he will inform to that person. Or by any general or special order of the district or special divisional magistrate, he will inform those persons. And then he shall proceed to the place where the body of the such diseased person is, and there, in the presence of 2 or more respectable inhabitants of the neighborhood, shall make an investigation and draw up a report of the apparent cause of death. So he will visit to the scene of crime, gather the information from the respectables, and draw a report about the apparent cause of death and will describe wounds such as fractures, bruises, as he, as a layman, examines on the body. He will note them down. And other marks of injury also will be noted. And all the injuries which are found on the body, they are noted down by the investigating officer. And similarly, he will going to state about the manner, about the weapon or the instrument if he finds or if any such marks appear to have been inflicted. That is, he assesses that these injuries or wounds have been inflicted by a particular weapon, he can narrate them. Or he finds a weapon which is lying there, he will collect that weapon and give the information. So this report shall be signed by such police officer and other persons who have given the evidences. And by other, then he will forward this to the magistrate. So people who are giving the evidence will sign in the presence of the police. Then he shall forthwith forward it to the district magistrate or to the sub-divisional magistrate. When there is any doubt regarding the cause of death, or when for any other reason the police officer considers it expedient to do so, he shall, subject to such rules as the provincial government may prescribe in this behalf, forward the body with the view of being examined. That means if there is any suspicion of foul play or unnatural death or all the circumstances which we have previously discussed, then he will not only forward the report, but also forward the body to be examined to the nearest civil surgeon. And the nearest civil surgeon or other qualified medical men who are appointed in this behalf by the provincial government, they are authorized to conduct the autopsy and to whom he will forward the body. If the state of the weather or the distance admits of its being so, then it is forwarded. Or if it should be without risk of such as putrefaction on the road as would render such examination useless. That means he can decide that the weather is such that during the transport, the distance is too much, the body gets putrefied and the examination becomes useless. So he can decide the disposal right there. Now the section 176 of Criminal Procedure Code. Under 176, this is basically inquiry by the magistrate into the cause of death. Or when any person dies in the custody of the police, this is the jurisdiction of the magistrate to inquire under section 176, subsection 1. And the nearest magistrate empowered will hold the inquiry of all the deaths which are in custody. And in any other case which is mentioned in section 174, subsections A, B, and C of those. So he will investigate those cases. So the magistrate may cause the body to be disinterred and examined. So this is also the authority with the magistrate to order for the disinterment of the grave if it is buried in suspicious circumstances or when there is any report upon natural death and buried secretly, he can order for disinterment under this section 176. So any magistrate so empowered may hold an inquiry into the cause of death, either instead of or in addition to. He himself can hold the inquiry or in addition to inquiry which has been conducted by the area police. Then the investigation will be held by the police officer in addition to the magistrate. And if he does so, he shall have all the powers in conducting it, which he would have in holding an inquiry into an offense. So all sorts of powers are with him to hold the inquiry. The magistrate holding such inquiry shall record the evidence taken by him in connection herein within any of the manner hereinafter prescribed according to the circumstances of the case. Now, under subsection 2 of section 176, power to disinter corpse. Whenever such magistrate consider it is expedient to make an examination of a dead body of any person who has already interred, that is, who has already buried, in order to discover the cause of death, he will then order for the investigation. Now, the role of Surgeon Medico-Legal. The Surgeon Medico-Legal in each province has a standing provincial board. Surgeon Medico-Legal also trains doctors who are involved in the medico-legal work. And Surgeon Medico-Legal also issues instructions regarding medico-legal examination and autopsy from time to time. Similarly, the Forensic Science Agency in each province issues instruction regarding collection of various specimens in medico-legal examination and autopsy from time to time, so that the relevant material should be properly preserved, should be sent to the labs. Now, the health department instructions also there. They issues in each province, the government health department issues instructions regarding medico-legal examination and autopsy work from time to time. So, summary of today's talk is that we have discussed the death investigating system, which is prevalent in Pakistan, and they are under section 174 and 176 of Criminal Procedure Code. There are police rules also, and there are also the instructions from the health department, from the Surgeon Medico-Legal Punjab, and the Punjab Forensic Science Agency. So thank you very much. Take care. This is all about today's lecture. We'll continue in the next series. Please subscribe to my channel, and this is my channel name, Dr. Javed Iqbal Kokhar,